journeyed through a vast landscape of life experiences, yet one decision remains my greatest regret: moving into a nursing home. At first, this seemed like the ideal choice, endorsed by my family who painted a picture of comfort and care. I trusted their assurances, believing I would be safe and well looked after. However, as soon as I arrived, the reality shifted dramatically. I was met not with the warmth of home, but with the starkness of a small room and unfamiliar faces. The most jarring realization was the loss of control over my own life. The rhythms that once defined my day, such as waking at will, cooking for myself, and enjoying solitary walks, were replaced by the rigid schedules dictated by others. Want to venture outside? You'll need permission. Looking forward to choosing your meal? That's a rarity. Even the clothes I wore felt predetermined, stripping away my sense of self. On my first morning, I searched for my favorite book, only to find it was nowhere to be found, along with my cherished reading chair. Visiting hours were once filled with laughter from my daughter and grandchildren, yet as life outside flowed on, those visits dwindled into whispers and absence. I vividly recall the sting of loneliness during holidays, seated in a communal room where hope flickered with each glance toward the door. They didn't cease to love me. Instead, being out of immediate sight fostered a disconnection that was painful. In moments of solitude, I contemplated calling them, but the shadow of burden loomed large in my heart, silencing my desire for connection. At home, I had a purpose, tasks and hobbies that governed my day. Here, however, every necessity was provided, yet it felt as though my very essence was on hold. I came to understand that while moments of rest can be welcomed, an excess breeds a sense of stagnation and a painful waiting. I bore witness to my fellow residents slowly fading without the motivation of active engagement. I realized that the steeper the decline in movement, the faster one loses the ability to move altogether, pressing forth a grim cycle of decline. When privacy was stripped away, the once cherished autonomy became a distant memory. Simple acts, once taken for granted, now required help, overshadowing dignity with a sense of helplessness. While I've been fortunate with my roommate, I've observed others struggle, their sense of self eroded by mere labels like patient. This experience has taught me that the essence of being human thrives not just on being cared for, but on feeling cherished and valued. I told myself this new place was just temporary. I could always go back if I didn't like it. Yet, with every corner I turned, the realization hit me harder. Home was no longer an option. The house I grew up in, filled with laughter and memories, was sold. It changed in ways I could never have predicted, becoming a distant relic of my past. The idea of going back seemed more like a fantasy than a plan. As time went on, the weight of my decision settled in. I wasn't as strong as I used to be. Those youthful days were long gone, replaced by the shadows of self-doubt and fears I had once bravely dismissed. Leaving spaces behind no longer felt like a courageous act, but a painful retreat. Others around me felt the same. They too had come here seeking a brief escape, yet now they found themselves deeply rooted, unable to disentangle from the life that had ensnared them. The barriers to return stacked higher than I ever anticipated. Physical walls loomed. Each step through hallways felt like stepping deeper into a labyrinth I could not navigate out of. Financial constraints tightened the grip, reminding me that freedom comes with a price. But it was the emotional toll that weighed heaviest, wrapping around my heart like a vine, slowly constricting hope. Regret now shadowed my thoughts. I could never have imagined that I might feel imprisoned in what was supposed to be a safe haven. Not all homes turn out to be bad. Some can offer warmth and companionship. Yet hidden costs linger, unspoken in their depth. The unacknowledged reality is that they demand sacrifices, autonomy, privacy, and the simple joy of the familiar. Time has a way of revealing truths about choices I wish I could rewrite. If I could turn back time, I would strive harder to keep my sanctuary intact. I would have sought help, but I would have fought to retain my essential freedom. So, if you're confronted with this daunting choice, take a step back. Pause amid the whirlwind of emotions. Ask yourself these critical questions. What truly serves my best interests? Is this choice a step towards comfort or simply a shortcut to avoidance? Reflect on the kind of life you want to live, even as age sets in. The decision is not just about where to lay your head tonight, but where your spirit truly feels at home.